Hey there, me again. Still working on the pandemic 40. I just read an article that there was no point in doing exercise if you're trying to lose weight, which I do understand some of the things that they discussed, but I disagree strongly. Um, Even though food has a huge impact and you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet, I think that exercise definitely helps, and it helps in ways that maybe we don't think about. Um, for me, stress relief is massive as far as exercise, and it makes me feel better. And I think it boosts your metabolism. So, yes, you may only burn 120 calories or so walking a mile, 120 to 150, depending on how much you weigh and how fast you walk. Um, you still have a higher metabolism for about 4 hours afterwards. So, you burn, like, I want to say 20% more calories, even sitting at your desk or doing whatever it is you do after you've exercised. So I think those things definitely help. And when we're talking about the fact that we were gaining a pound and a half a month during the pandemic because we weren't doing as much and we were eating more, 150 calories and 10 to 20% more calories burned for those 4 hours afterwards is probably the difference. um, So when you think about that, right, if you're trying to, maybe net about 400 to 500 calories less a day to not only stop gaining weight, but start losing weight, um, having 200 of those 500 calories that you need for your deficit, that means that you can have, you know, another half a slice of pizza or something like that and still be able to maintain the rate that you want to do. Now, as far as talking about food, yeah, eating less food really does make a much bigger difference in being able to affect your calorie deficit. Um, and what I've been doing and thinking about is the fact that, depending on what it is, if it's not vegetables and not fruits, I don't count those because I feel like no one ever got super heavy from eating a bunch of fruits and vegetables. But if you look at, you know, casseroles or um, desserts or things like that, I would say that you could easily guess that every single bite that you don't take of a slice of pizza, a piece of cake, a cookie, is at least 50 calories that you've saved. So if you take half a slice of chocolate cake instead of a whole slice, you've probably saved yourself 250 calories right there. So don't get overwhelmed, and know that, like, if you even leave one piece, one bite of chocolate cake on the plate when you normally would have eaten the whole thing, you're saving 50 to 100 calories right there. So if you think that if you just take a half a piece that particular day instead of a whole piece, you've saved yourself 250 calories, and you've got your deficit in calories that you're trying to get right there. So this is not something that requires sweeping changes. It doesn't mean that you can't have a cheeseburger, but just have a single instead of a double, and maybe leave 2 or 3 bites of it. Because if you normally ate a double cheeseburger, if you have a single cheeseburger, a single slice of cheese, single patty, and you leave 2 bites, you've probably saved yourself 700 calories easy. So think of it that way. Don't think of the fact that you're supposed to start from zero and only get to 1,600 calories or some other arbitrary number that someone thinks. Because the pandemic is telling us that it's about a pound and a half, you can just dial back from really where you were and what you were eating and just take a little bit off. So saving yourself 5 bites. So 3 bites of pizza at lunch, you leave 3 bites. 2 bites less at breakfast, and you have about 250 calories. If those 2 bites at breakfast were scrambled eggs and bacon. And then in the evening, if you have some kind of casserole, in the case, last night we had the very exciting tater tot hot dish, if you're familiar with it. I just took about half as much as I normally would. And, that was probably 200, 150 calories easy that I saved by just taking a little bit less than I normally would have, because it is great comfort food and it's cold outside. So I just took a little bit less. And if I keep doing that, it will make a difference. Now, I got on the scale this morning. It hasn't made a difference yet, but we're playing the long game here. So I have an entire year to lose 40 pounds. And so I have enough time to be able to do little adjustments here and there while still living my life and still using my normal diet, but just dialing it back just a little bit. So far, so good. Keep it going, and every bite counts. So it's a major victory if you leave one bite of something. If you take 2/3 of a piece of cake instead of a whole piece, that is a major victory. So don't let people fool you into thinking that this is an untenable thing that you can do. This is possible. We can do this. It's just that you have to do it day in and day out for the rest of the year, and most likely for the rest of my life. But if I'm just making little adjustments, for the rest of my life doesn't seem like a prison sentence. It just seems like small adjustments. So that's what I know so far. Talk to you later.